Welcome to GladrapChannel.
Dan the Hangman Hooker, who's just come off an absolutely amazing win, highlight reel at UFC Auckland. How did it feel after that win, mate?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's kind of, you prepare for the worst and hope for the best, and it turned out the best, so I've got no complaints here.
The mouth guard went flying. For anyone watching back home, have you relived and re-looked at that fight since, or moved on and just trained as normal?
I watched it to see like what I'm happy with, what I'm not happy with. You know, pretty critical of my own performances. I see some things I can improve on, so I was back in the gym Monday morning. On to the next one.
It's such a game of highs and lows. You know, I was with you in Melbourne when you got lost tonight. Was it a bit of a devastating loss? But you've come back. What happened after that loss? Did you just go back to the gym and think, I'm going to become obsessed, I'm going to do this, that to get better?
That's just the sport, man. If you can't take the losses, you're not going to last long at all. I don't think I'm the best fighter. I just think, I've stuck at it longer than anyone else. This is what I want to do, regardless of success or failure. I'm committed to this kind of journey and this sport and the highs and lows. So I expect it. When you lose or win, you're always going to pick yourself back up. So the faster you get back to training, the faster you can get back on the right track.
Well said, mate. And looking at this gym, like I said to Eugene, it's the king of kings. You've got Israel, you've got Carlos, you've got Brad Riddell, Mike Angove. You're training with some of the best fighters in New Zealand, aren't you?
Yeah, it's kind of, you just magnetize to each other. You got to surround yourself with people that want to win as well and want to be the best. And I think that's all it is. It's not the gym, it's not the place. We don't have anything special. It's just some mats and coaches and good fighters, and we just feed off each other. We're just trying to get better every day. That's it.
Can I ask, what happened with the 50G? Straight in the bank? Did you buy yourself a new pair of kicks?
I haven't even got it yet. Nah, they take a while. It's my second bonus, so they take a while. They take like 2 or 3 months to get that money through.
Some people out there would say, wow, that's a lot on him, but someone that's been grinding, been training for so long, it's well deserved. Well, in my opinion, would you agree?
Yeah, it's a mixture, it's a mixture. I just appreciate it. I'm not in it for money. The money just kind of comes with success. I think being a professional fighter, you've already accepted a long time ago that you're not going to have any money. So when you kind of have it, you just don't know what to do with it. A lot of fighters just go and spend it because they're just not mentally prepared for it. But I prepared for being here, and it's good having a family around me that kind of keep my head on straight. I don't do anything stupid. I got a wife. I got to look after her. Yeah, pretty much.
Well, that's the thing. You've been doing it for a while now, and when you first started out, I've seen some crazy clips of you fighting guys way out of your weight zone. Ants Nansen, that other guy that was over 100 kilos. When you were fighting, then you weren't getting paid, were you? What were you actually getting in reward for the fight?
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, I just like to fight.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. Now I'm smart enough to get paid for it because there's an opportunity to get paid for it. If someone else is making money, I want to make what they're making for the exact same work. But if no one was getting paid for it like 10 years ago, 20 years ago, I'd still be doing this. I'd still be stepping in there and fighting whoever I can.
Now, with the explosion of MMA, we've got Connor McGregor and Mayweather. Have you been watching the build-up, and what are your thoughts?
Heck yeah, I've been watching it. How do you avoid that fight?
Yeah.
You couldn't avoid that fight if you want. It's like a guilty pleasure. What are those rubbish TV shows like Geordie Shore and stuff? Everyone watches it, but no one wants to admit it. But now I watch it. It's entertaining, man.
And are you going to make a call? Are you going to watch it for the pure entertainment? What way do you think the fight's going to go?
Well, Floyd should whoop his ass, right? On paper, Floyd should whoop his ass. Floyd should, like every other fight, win all 12 rounds. People are going to want their money back. Connor's going to say he ran. But if Connor survives, I think he kind of wins. And that's a loss for boxing. If Mayweather can't take him out of there over 12 rounds, I think boxing kind of loses if that happens, or it doesn't lose. It just kind of makes it look bad, you know.
What are your thoughts too on the mental warfare? We saw Connor McGregor doing the capoeira dance and dancing around, talking the smack. Is that important in the fight game?
To a degree. Mayweather's seen it all before. I don't think he's going to rattle his cage too much. You know, the pressure. He's for a fighter like him and guys like that who have experienced it all before. I don't think it's going to make like a big effect. But if you look at the odds of the fight, like Connor's playing better than world-class boxers. Like the odds are closer for him than Birdo and all these other best world champions. So it's interesting to see that the bookies are giving him a chance, giving him more chance than I expected they'd give him, you know.
Speaking of boxing, we've got Joseph Parker coming up against Fury in the UK on the sort of late September. Is that something you watch as well? Do you get behind the NZ boxers, the heavyweights?
Yeah, well, you know, if there's a Kiwi combat athlete doing good things on the world stage, you know, he's setting a good example. You know, I definitely follow Joe and support his success. You know, that's a Kiwi heavyweight boxing champion of the world. You know, that doesn't happen very often, so it's something we should support.
Speaking of that, how could I forget? We were there at the bar when Whittaker won the interim middleweight title. Have you spent time with Whittaker before? You know, trained, sparred, and doesn't, in your thoughts, give this such good exposure for all the Aussie and New Zealand fighters?
Yeah, it's more eyes. We have a world champion, and that's a guy that I came up with. I came up in the scene with Whittaker. He was before he was a big name. I saw him fight in Australia. It was like his third fight. I had 6 fights or something by then. We actually started fighting professionally a week apart. So we both started fighting March 2009. We started fighting professionally in the same month. It was Whittaker's third pro fight, and I was there cornering Rod McSwain over in Sydney at a CFC show, and I see this young kid, and he's out back, and he's just pacing backwards and forwards. He's in a room by himself, just pacing backwards and forwards, and he's just talking to himself. This big jacked up kid, he's walking back and forwards, just saying, "You're the best, you're the fastest. No one can touch you. No one can touch you." And I was sitting there looking at him, like, this kid's a bit weird. Like, but he went out, ran right through this guy, destroyed him, and you know, you could see that he was a very self-motivated guy, and mentally he had it there, and that's really where the difference is, you know, in the top 2 inches.
So he is a little bit heavier than you, isn't he? Like probably by 5 or 10 kg.
That guy walks around like 100 kilos. He's a big guy.
A lot heavier. A lot heavier. So what's next on the cards? A lot of people will be wondering, I don't even know if you can comment, but you won obviously here in Auckland, devastating win. Has anything else been lined up, or can you say what's next on the cards?
Nothing yet, but you know, I'll be 100% expecting the Sydney card in November. That just got announced as the 19th of November
19th,
in Sydney. So UFC Sydney, I think that's the next target. It's just a hour and a half, 2 hour plane ride, so I'm happy about that. It's closer than the States or Tokyo.
That's true. I mean, look, not too far away. You'll have heaps of support over there. Those watching back home, you know, you grew up in New Zealand, Auckland. What do you want to say to the viewers back home or watching around the world that are thinking of even taking up MMA?
Yeah, well, you just have to get in the gym. To be honest, I get a lot of people messaging me, you know, I want to be UFC champion. I say, well, where do you train? I haven't started training yet. Well, that's the first thing. Go to the nearest gym and just spend as much time in there as possible. This game is just time.
Yeah.
You know, it's just time. If you show up at a gym and spend time there, you'll get better.
Appreciate it.
Jen, just a couple questions. So, you know, have you watched all of the conferences, you know, the press conferences of Connor Floyd?
Yeah, most of them. I've seen, watched a couple of them and then just seen highlights of the other ones. Yeah.
Do you think, like, anyone is one particular? Like, any, you know, is it 4-0 or what do you think?
Yeah, if you want to score a press conference, but you know, the fight is the important part. I like it. I like the people getting into it, you know, scoring a press conference. I think, man, I don't know. It's just talk at the end of the day.
You like when Floyd gets his bag, you know, the famous bag?
Yeah, oh man, we got Nah, it's kind of a circus. It's kind of ridiculous. I'm enjoying it.
How important is trash talking? Is it just to sell a fight, or is it also to get into a fighter's head? Like,
Yeah, if that's your personality, if that's natural to you, you know, if you're naturally like that, I guarantee, you know, when Izzy starts getting success, he's gonna shred some guys on a microphone. You know, I can do it, but it's just not natural. You know, I'm gonna get sick of the guy, and if someone's pushing me like that, I'm probably gonna push back. You got to be able to take it and give it back. So it's all on personality and personality type. It's one thing you can't do is not be natural, not be like true to yourself, because the fans can see right through that. And if they see you're up there and you're kind of full of shit, they'll jump all over you and they'll shred you apart. You know, when Connor says that stuff, when he actually believes he's gonna win. I genuinely think that he believes he's gonna knock Mayweather out. You know, is he crazy? I don't know. He's got this far.
But what does it mean, getting into a fighter's head? What does that mean? Like, is that putting fear, like instilling fear into a fighter?
Well, that would depend on the fighter. Most fighters don't reach that elite level, being like mentally weak people. But a lot of the times, that's just a way people interpret it. Like, you'll see two fighters face off, and then they just stare each other in the eyes, and nothing really happens. One fighter comes away and he says, you know, I saw him break. I saw him break in that stare down. I saw him look away. You know, I've got this guy, but did he really, like, or is that guy just kind of convincing himself that he outmaneuvered this guy with his eyes somehow? So it's, some people, I think they read a bit too much into it. They should focus more on just the technique and the fight, but hey, this is selling tickets, this is getting money in the bank account. You have to acknowledge that side of the sport.
And if you could comment on the Jeff Horn-Manny Pacquiao fight, I mean, did you watch it, and what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I watched it. Jeff did well. I thought he won the fight.
Yeah.
It was close, you know.
What about the roughhouse tactics? Like, he's been getting a lot of slack for, you know, pushing him down and some of the clinches and...
That's part of boxing, man. The clinch is part of boxing. You watch, study like Mayweather and his like clinch tactics. He's very good in the clinch. Like, that's part of boxing. You can't just bank on the referee always stepping in and being able to break you up. You got to fight your way out of the clinch. Clinch is a big part of boxing. You know, professional boxing, not so much amateur boxing. There's not much clinching, but hand control, glove control, head control, like they're all big parts of professional boxing. So I didn't see anything dirty with it. It's a fist fight. At the end of the day, it's going to get a little bit messy.
Mm-hmm. Do you think we'll ever see you in a boxing ring? You know,
money talks. I'll fight pinochle wars if that's paying the most. Right now MMA is paying the most, so that's what I do. I'm not fussed. I enjoy it all. You know. They started throwing big money around for jiu-jitsu, boxing, pinochle wars. I'll do it. I'll do anything. You know? Right now, my focus is on the UFC. It's the one I enjoy the most because there's the least amount of rules. If they bring another sport in with less rules, I'll probably end up doing that.
Fantastic. And you know, as I said before, you know, I love the way you embrace the New Zealand flag, and I love that whole character, man. So keep doing your thing, and congrats on the last one.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for your time.
No worries.
Thanks, man.
Cheers.